Moving in here this morning, it's Brody on Brody Vision, giving you folks just a minute to arrive here on the show with me. Thank goodness that you did. You got Brody dangling from the rearview mirror this morning. Are you checking the blind spots as you're cruising down the freeway? I hope you've got Brody in your back pocket, at least on the kitchen table. Where have you got me today? It's hump day. It's Wednesday. It's steak and pajamas day. We're here. We're shaking. We're grooving. We're getting ready to hit the movers and the shakers just like you folks know we do. So happy to be here with you folks here this morning on the show. It's about that time we got into it with you here. You know, things are picking up in the game of Magic the Gathering. Can you believe that? It's already approaching near and dear to the end of January. Oh my goodness gracious. Where's the time go, hey? Well, I'll tell you this much. I appreciate spending each and every second of each and every minute of each and every hour with you folks, the fans of Magic the Gathering, who love the game as much as we do. Blessings on your household here this morning, coming at you live from the stock desk. It's Brody. The juice is in the house, and the house is in the juice. How y'all doing today? Got myself a little sip of coffee. Coach, thanks for coming to all my games. It's going to be a good show today. I know Benson's in the house. We got that next level tech that you guys come here for. We can just layer that on top of what's going on today. And then we got some free Treons and a special shout out to Murray Cooper, who's provided me with this brand new Brody's Morning Magic and coffee. Is that pitcher filled with coffee? Maybe, but look at Brody's got the new Brody Alfonso edition mug club mug happening. This is prototype version 1.x00 BB8 P3PO. This is I think this is going to be exciting year. Exciting? It's January, it's already in the bag. We've had so many shows, we've had so many amazing hits come across the stock desk. It's been really cool. We're going to talk a little Magic cards today. Benson's, did I hear you're doing some mail opening videos? So I'm going to have to run over there after the stream is done here today. I'm going to be here about half past the hour here with you folks, joining me for a little bit of morning Magic stocks and some morning Magic talks. It's Brody. How y'all doing today? Murray Cooper says it's definitely coffee time. Feels like it. Definitely got myself a cup. I'm ready to go. So here on the show, if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, folks, we got the best viewers in the world. That's you folks, fans of Magic the Gathering, the favorites of the show, who tune in each and every morning, Monday through Friday. If you don't like checking the prices of Magic cards, let me do it for you. I'm doing it anyway. I'm here every morning hanging with you folks. And this is the place where we take the Hasbro stock. We take a look at that. We might look at we might have a little fun warm up this morning. Maybe look at a couple of gifs, couple of memes, a couple of AI generated Magic cards. A couple of things, a couple of boats. We're gonna warm up, then we're gonna take a look at the Hasbro stock. We're gonna read over at the stock desk to see if the folks over at the stock desk have any new articles for us in the world of Magic the Gathering. We'd love to check over there. And then we're going to hit up the movers and the shakers list. I always got my eye out on the Twitter tweets to follow the vintage and legacy metagame to see what's going on. And we'll browse over to MTG Top 8 just to see if the metagame is changing and what's sort of climbing up the ladder, how that affects the price of cards when we're taking a look at the movers and the shakers list. That'll give us plenty to look at because this is a crazy mixed up world of prices and magic cards, and people got their eye on stuff. I know there's folks out there who are like itching to pick up some magic cards, certain reserve list cards. I love it. The coach is in the house. I gotta say, Coach, we gotta we're gonna have to talk. I was over at your website channel there last night checking out some of the movie trailers. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Mr. DJ Longhair in the house. Ben's is a French press guy. You know something? I see where this is going. I see where this is going. Like I can just imagine here in the studio what we could do, the fun we could have. Oh, the places we could go and the games we could play. The coffee pressing that we could do, like hanging here with you folks. Very, very, very cool. Winston says we need to talk about the Iker Moon Gauntlet and all will be one. Spoiler. Is it crazy? Is it messed up? Is it super OP? We can get to that for sure. Do you like Magic? Do you like checking out some AI generated Magic cards? That looks like a good place to start. We'll check. I'll see if I can find this Iker Moon Gauntlet. Let's take a look at some of these AI generated Magic cards. Give them a pass or fail here this morning. I have no idea what the heck these things are. They could be just about anything. But I'll tell you what, there's been some discussion about these AI generated Magic cards and like the creativity level that's required to write a Magic the Gathering card. It's actually quite difficult. If you can imagine having to come up with new game mechanics or new mechanics for new sets, spoilers, why wouldn't you just go to the AI, right? Have somebody done it? I gotta think somebody's done it. Just go to the AI, Brody. Screw originality. Let's just go to the AI for this. And then you turn in this card, Spike Wanderer. Spirit, 3/3, double spirit. It's spirit for one. It's double spirit. It's flying. It's 2 red and 3. It's a 3/3. It costs 5 mana. When Spike Winder enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Target opponent puts a creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under their owner's control. Target opponent puts a. So you choose a creature type. I don't know why you would want to choose a creature type here. Simply because the second part of the card doesn't specifically say target opponent chooses a creature card of that type. So target opponent can target opponent puts a creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under their owner's control. I can't say enough about this. We're gonna have some failing grades here this morning, Coach. What are you gonna do? Are we gonna make the AI run lines here this morning? What do we do when the AI gets it wrong? I'm going to fail this one. I think we do. Let's give that a fail and move on. Oh no, buzzer's stuck. Jeez, Louise, I'm sorry about that. Let's turn the repeat off. Come on, get out of here. If you weren't awake yet, you are now. OMG. Here we go. The stream has a lot of freaking repeat button. Repeat and AI. The AI's gotten into the stream deck. Oh my gosh. Okay, another 5-mana red creature. Let's check out Zemel Larich. A 3/1. This card is a Kavu. Holy smokes, I gotta have a sip of coffee. Let's check it out. Excessive buzzing is good for a failing AI card. Thanks, coach. Drink of a shot of espresso if it fails, right? The excessive buzzing. Yeah, I like this card so far. It's a Kavu. We need more Kavus. The art is pretty epic. Let's see if we can discern what is going on in this picture. Looks like a tent with the head of said Kavu poking out of it, perhaps. A set of feet. Very difficult to tell. Flying Vigilance, Trample, Haste, Kavu, 3/1 for 5. Elementals you control get +1/+1. You may cast a spell of each spell you cast this turn. You may cast a spell of each spell you cast this turn. Ugh, more gibberish. Other than that, it's 5 mana. It gives your elementals it's a lord for elementals, a 3/1 flying vigilance, trample, haste, Kavu. What do you guys think? It's hard. This the gibberish on the back end of the card kind of makes me want to fail this right off the hop. You may cast a spell of each spell you cast this turn. Hey, we're drawing a line in the sand here. Any gibberish on these cards, we're just gonna fail it. Let's give it 40 buzzes. All right, let's go. Here's the art. Let's take another look at the art. It is kind of hard to discern here. It's like the same shapely beastie over and over again. Kavu time. How y'all doing this morning? Kavu cup of coffee with me? Kavu cup of coffee? Enjoy this magic card here. It's Brody. It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, January 25th. And we're taking a look at this card. Keeper of the Veil, an elk. I like it. A 5/4. Look at the art. Very mysterious elk here. This guy, look at the rack on him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's like a 1, 2, 3, 4. He's like a 5-point elk right here. Okay, we got the big 5-point wearing a bed sheet. So he's clearly ran through someone's backyard and hooked their laundry. And why not? He's got trample, 5/4. Whenever Keeper of the Veil blocks, it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you've lost this turn. Whenever it blocks, it gets -X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you've lost this turn. So a 5/4 trample for 4 mana, black and 3. It seems fine. I think it seems fine. It's not very powerful. This kind of is an uncommon. It's in the uncommon slot. Let's give it a pass. Can we pass this card? It's got no gibberish. I think that alone. We're giving out points to the AI now for showing up to class. Just show up. You know, you'll get a participation ribbon. Is that how we're doing it? We're coddling the AI. No, let's give this a pass. I think we can give it a pass. I want to give it a pass. Shoot me a thumbs up in the comment section. Yay or nay. You could give it a Y or an N. You could have a happy face, a sad face. I think we can go ahead. Let's give that one a pass. There's the stag art. Ooh. What do you think? I happen to know folks that would probably take this guy home in the freezer. Unfortunately. It's just a couple of elk steaks there. Snow-covered island? I really can get behind these AI generated lands. I certainly can. Very, very nice. These are okay. Check them out here. I think we give this guy a pass. We can give the land a pass. And this brings us to the card we ended up started out with yesterday. Thoe the of Flather chapter. This is just more nonsense gibberish. Pound Terse, your non-stronger player, Don non Cotiles. Sorry. Can't do it. Can't give it a passing grade. That's too bad. Sucks to be you. Did you know 5 out of 4 people are bad at fractions? Thanks for joining us here this morning. We're going to check the stock test to see if they got any news articles here for you folks. Word is MagicCon Philadelphia. That's the word. MTG Con Philadelphia. We're going to look up Philadelphia. Philadelphia. And the schedule. Philadelphia. I'd like to know a little bit more about it. Check this out. Got something interesting for you folks. Morning Magic stocks. Okay, you want to talk stocks? This is sort of another market. Okay, Andrew Lee Griffith. Let's check this out. Let's check this out, folks. Comics artist, writer, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Micronauts, Mask, Gem, Rum, Love is Love, and more. But Andrew Lee Griffith, if you don't recognize the name, maybe you'll recognize the art here. Selling sketch says, for any collectors who may be interested out there, I have exactly one available piece of original art left from the Magic the Gathering cards I worked on. R keys alt mode. Let me know if interested and we can discuss. I sent this fellow Andrew a message just to sort of see what kind of, and this is the sketch he's got for sale. So, we had the time walk print here on the show the other morning to show you folks, and this is another little sketch piece of art. It looks pretty interesting. I did hear back on the from Andrew. Sent him a message. It said would be interested to see what price range something like this would go for. This would be a very interesting piece of art to add to anyone's collection. Let me know in the comment section below. Would anybody be interested in something like this? I'm not saying like you have to jump on this one or buy this one. I'm just kind of interested to know if this type of art is something, sketches that you could get framed, put together with the actual card. Actually, it seems okay. So I did hear back. A little expensive, a little bit on the expensive side, but I think totally worth the money long term. It is a little expensive. Might be something neat. Got my 10 leeches in. Twiddlers got, how are those looking price wise? Twiddlers, filled the fish tank, hey? I like it. Let's check the price of Hasbro stock today. Anything moved? We got to check a couple of cards for you folks. Benson wants us to check out Ikameron Gauntlet, and we're going to check out the price of leeches, but let's take a look at the Hasbro stock price. Oh my gosh.
Buy low, sell high, that's my motto. I may just quit my job at the power plant and become a full-time stock market guy.
Over the 5-year period, Hasbro stock is down 32%. Over the last trading day, trickling down 1.8 more percent. probably going to see this sucker move from left to right. We're waiting for fourth quarter earnings from Hasbro to come out. If you folks are just joining, Brody has staked a spot on the hill. Have you heard that expression? Is this the hill you're willing to die on? Right? We're staking a spot on the hill here and watching the Hasbro stock price. We want to see how much damage there's going to be to this company over the last quarter of last year. And here's the news. If you haven't heard this already, if you look, there's been a lot of discussion. You might hear it here, folks. Here at first, folks, there's 6 of you watching, the fans of Magic the Gathering. There's been a lot of discussion over Wizards of the Coast removing archives of old articles that have been posted. If you look on the Wizards website, you're going to get a Snap 404 type of warning, and this is sort of what people are saying. So if you can't seem to find certain Magic the Gathering content, like if you want to go and look back at an old pre-release article regarding Amonkhet or one of the earlier Magic sets, and the article surrounding it, you're going to not find anything. You're just going to find a 404 file not found error page. Now, what have been sort of been poking around and learning that people are discussing is that there's like a migration of all the tournament stats, old articles, and all the intellectual property that was posted on the Wizards normal website as it is migrating to a new server. So it's all supposedly supposed to be there safe for us later on down the road. It's not there right now, so because of the migration. So a lot of people are hoping that we're not going to be losing any statistics, old articles, and clips that were going back just about as far as you can in Magic's history, because these types of Wizards articles going missing, apparently it was actually announced back in November. So we're seeing a little bit of that. Even Louis Scott Vargas and a few of the other folks I'll put it up for you here today. So there is discussion on this. If you notice this, if you find it weird, some Wizards content not showing up anymore, this is probably got something to do with it. Apparently, we all missed the memo back in November, and it's totally normal. It's totally fine. They're not scrubbing any of the internet content. Don't worry. It's all going to be back up exactly how it was before they took it down. It's fine. So not only has the Hasbro stock price been trending down over the last little while, we've poked and pissed off our customer base, not just in Magic the Gathering and towards the end of the year, as well as Dungeons and Dragons players and other products associated with the Alphonso name brand. Let's take a look over here at the stock desk and over the 1 year period. Yeah, so we're seeing a little tick up in price over the holidays. We're just taking a look at the Hasbro stock. Mr. DJ, you haven't missed anything. You're here, we're here. We're just discussing the Wizards articles that have been going missing. If you look on Twitter, there's discussion about old articles written by creators gone kind of scrubbed off the Wizards website. Apparently, it's all being relocated as far as I can tell, and it's going to be totally fine. Just tune in later. We're checking out the price of Hasbro stock here this morning. Having a little bit of coffee with you folks here today. I'm just check the stock desk, see if we got any articles And if we don't have any new articles, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because there's a couple of things that we need to do. And that's just comb over a couple of the weekly winners from over the holidays. It's still early in the year, and I think that's just totally fine. So let's do that here this morning. But first, WotC is moving their old articles on the website. And a lot of Leech's buyouts. Haha. Let's check this card for Benson. Ikameron Gauntlet. I want to check that out. Ikameron. Ikameroon. Hickory dickory dock. This gauntlet went up the clock. The art is epic. DJ Longhair showed up and everybody said, "What's up?" Phyrexial will be won $22.99. That's what you got to pony up to get this card. Let's check out the art on it here. Is it amazing? Is it epic? It's a glove. 1 blue and 2. Planeswalkers you control have 0 proliferate and -12. Take an extra turn off for this one. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent. Put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. Wow, it's an artifact. I'm really sad that it doesn't equip. Why doesn't it equip? I don't know. So this is the card, the meme card that's going on. Equipment for planeswalkers. Planeswalkers you control have proliferate. Okay, that sort of makes sense. We're starting to get a little equipment for planeswalkers. Nice, nice. It explains a few of the memes that we've been seeing. Ikameron Gauntlet starting out at $22 already, right? That's hilarious. Okay, so that like that explains this meme a lot more here, right? This is the sentiment in the Magic the Gathering community. So what is that Ikameron Maroon Gauntlet has done to us? Everybody's lining up at the proliferate booth. Everyone's staying away from the +1 booth. Morning game. I mean, MTG Gaming Bob's in the house. How you doing this morning, Bob? Glad to have you here. We're looking at some memes and discussing this Ikameron Gauntlet. Most people are lined up for the proliferate side of the Ikameron. Smash that notification bell if you are here to play and start your day on a hump day, middle of the week, Wednesday. Here I am with Brody. Where are you at? Give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Remember, YouTube likes quantity over quality. I appreciate the thought out and excellent questions in the comment section below. We're going to look up some cards. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Make sure you leave me a couple of comments in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer each and every one of them. And the chats towards the end of the show. We're looking at this Ikameron Gauntlet. Ikameron. What? Ikermoon Gauntlet. Say it properly. Ikermoon. I just want to call it the Ikameron Gauntlet. I'm sorry. I gotta say though, this is likely the lineup that everybody's getting into. Planeswalkers you control, so yeah, we're gonna be doing some proliferation. Funny stuff. All right, and the price of leeches. Let's see, leeches from Homelands. Lots of sales. You guys say there's lots of $14 for the leeches. This is a card that's been on Brody's bottom 10, and it has. We talked about it a couple 2 weeks here in a row. Holy simoles! This is I cast Moron Gauntlet. Does it resolve Moron? Right? Oh my god. Yeah. I cast Moron Gauntlet. Does it resolve? Look at the chart on the leeches. Card that just, it's the only card in the game that removes poison counters. Let's talk about it. This is a card that just made its way onto Brody's bottom 10 early last year, around the time, probably one of the early bottom 10s. I mean, I would venture to pick it up. Here we go. Arrows. This sucker only a couple of dollars, like literally a couple of dollar card before 2021, and then there's this thing here, little poke up in price around 2021. Must have been like some chat, maybe some discuss on the reprinting of some infect mechanics. Did we get something good in Kaldheim? Did we get something good in Kaldheim that had infect, or did we just hear like infect was coming back? Because then we saw a plummet of price all the way down here in towards New Capenna and Kamigawa Neon D. The Kamigawa Neon D, and then she's kicked up to about $14. Can we find any at the vendors? Vendors are sold out, right? And like there's literally no decks using it. It's kind of funny. Okay, so about this card, yes, it's great. It removes all poison counters. It might end up being something. See, the thing is it going to take up a slot in commander decks? Is it going to take up a card? Is it worth taking up a card? I'm saying it's if poison counters become that predominant, then yes, it's going to be worth picking up a copy for a commander deck. If nobody's playing poison counters at the table, then it's kind of an irrelevant card. Now, on the other hand, if you are playing poison counters or infect yourself, and a player's life total gets down below to the point where they have the same amount of life as poison counters, you can use this to finish them off by removing the poison counters and dealing them some damage. But if it's like 9 or less, they're just about on the way to lose the game anyway. Awesome card, Leeches. It's on the reserve list. Nobody cares about this card. Let's check the stock desk. I want to check out this article from Ryan Cole. This is penny saved, penny earned. This one's from January 1st. We missed it over the holidays, and I want to circle back to this article for you folks. I want to circle back. The 2-drop green guy, right? Murray Cooper says, I wonder what that Leech's spike around Kaldheim was about. DJ Longhair says it's the 2-drop green guy. Hey, Twiddler, how you doing, buddy? So let's check out this Haughty Dijin. Apparently, I like these articles from Ryan over the stock desk. So let's read one here. Ryan says his favorite pastime, one of them, is his interest in barrel scrapers and buying low in hopes of selling high. So penny stocks is an article section that he's printing, and he's giving us a taser of the MTG penny stocks type of article. Normally, his card preferences are geared towards either collectible cards from Magic's Legacy Era Pass or cards with a new to my favorite format, Standard. I know I'm a monster and should be chased out of town with pitchforks, but Ryan likes Standard. I don't know how long it's going to be around after a while, but he's also recently started playing more Modern and noticed some trends that are reflected in this iteration here on this penny stocks article that Brody's going to be reading for you here this morning. Choosing these 3 cards as proper investments for the enjoyer of either format. So without further delay, presenting the top 3 penny picks. All right, Haughty Dijin. This guy is a pick From Ryan over the stock test, and I couldn't imagine why. This star 4 creature, 2 blue and 1, flying, power equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Instants and sorceries cost 1 less. I want to say there's a Drake that almost did this. Enigma Drake. That's right. Brody wants to say Enigma Drake. So it reminds me of that. Maybe there's another. Maybe it's not Enigma Drake, but there's a Drake. And is it Drake's? Blue is definitely at the top of my list of color choices. I find the all-around versatility of the color may be appealing. The fact that the best instant and sorceries are arguably in blue makes me always want to put at least a small splash of color into every deck made. For 3 mana, Haughty Djinn is increasing power, but also added the nicety of allowing you to cast your instant and sorcery spells for 1 less mana. Makes me think of Baral, the chief of the chief of appliances. New washer, new dryer, call Baral, the chief of appliances. No price too high, call Baral. Your carburetor needs fixing, call Baral, the chief of appliances. Also, one of only 4 cards that isn't legendary from most recent MTG sets. A little sarcasm there. So you're not stuck with only one in the field. Other blue cards that have done the same cost reductions for instants and sorceries include Baral and Font of Magic. Ooh, qu'est-ce que c'est? The Font of Magic. Instant and sorceries cost 1 less each time you cast a commander from the command zone this game. Wow. Font of Magic, Baral, Chief of Compliance, and the Haughty Djinn are 3 cards that can start reducing your mana cost in a commander card build that in a way that's unlike any other deck in the format. So for a card as well as non-blue cards like Cemetery Prowler, spells you cast cost 1 less for each card type they share with cards exiled with Cemetery Prowler, and then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. This Wolfie Cloud Key, the artifact that does a similar ability, except this one you get to choose the type, enchantment, creature, instant, or sorcery. But having that little bit of extra power equal to the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard means that when you're countered that win condition your opponents tried to dish out on their turn, you get to move back to your turn with a creature that bulked up by just a little bit more. Coming in at just over $2 at the time of writing, Haughty Djinn is not only an extremely valuable card for gameplay, but also a card that can grow in value over time due to its multiple positive traits. Do you folks agree here with Ryan? How good is Haughty Djinn, actually? I do kind of like it. We'll keep an eye on this card and see. If you want to pick up a copy, it's a toonie right now. It's only $2. It seems pretty low. I'm just going to check the price for you here of this Dominaria United card. It's $2.19. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. You got lots of time to pick one up. And this is the line of thinking from Ryan over the stock desk for this card. I like it. Thanks. Bringing us to the second card here this morning from Ryan. It's got us on the scouring the glass universe. This artifact that's white from Shards of Alara. It's a $5 bill. It's a 5 spot to get one of these into your collection right now. It's a bit expensive to cast. It's 2 white and 3. It's worth considering for artifact decks in white or for your investment portfolio with the resurgence of artifacts of all sorts being printed in several recent sets. Scourglass's tap and sack ability is a nice addition to have in your deck. It says tap, sacrifice Scourglass, and destroy all permanents except for artifacts and lands. Play this ability only during your upkeep. Soon I will sleep, eyes closing to a world tarnished with flesh, and then wake to a polished vision. Sharoom. This thing's like a board wipe. It's like a Nev's disc a little bit. It doesn't do artifacts, but it leaves everything else poof gone. His destroy ability is a nice addition to have in a deck. So you have to sell to those who want it in a deck. Yes, there are timing restrictions because you can only do it during your upkeep, but if you properly plan out your gameplay, you'll either slow down your opponents or completely devastate their ability to recover. This card can save your rear end in a game in a way that a full Wrath can. But with the upside of saving all your artifacts for just one extra mana, and that makes it one of my favorite penny stocks, sitting at around the $5 mark. The graphs show that it sees pretty steady growth with easily recoverable from its losses. If you think, as Ryan does, that artifacts won't be set to the wayside anytime soon, then this one clearly has a spot on the table for both the player and the investor. What do you think, gaming? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm missing the comments here. Coach says the spike was after the bottom 10 mention on leeches. That's right. The spike from leeches was after the bottom 10 mention. Dual brains in the house. I'd love to think so. What's up, guys? We're checking out the stock desk here, reading a article from Ryan over at the stock desk. Ryan's still trying to make an effective deck using Haughty Djinn for $2 and Scourglass Glass for $5, which was obviously an obnoxiously segue into his third and final penny stock pick from January 1st this year, 2023, a Darkar Waste, this borderless version, a card I thought was printed in Ice Age, if my eyes does deceive me. A Darkar Waste is a pain land. Isn't this one of the good ones? I really want to just take a refresh. A Darkar Waste, right? Ice Age. Yes, it was definitely printed. It's got to be Ice Age. Yes, this is like what we were hoping for when Ice Age came around. We lost the original duels and we got a Darkar Waste, a land that deals a damage to you and it taps for a blue or a white. It gives you colored mana. It's a pain land. It also taps for a colorless. Is not too bad. This is like arguably a downside on a dual land. It's not as good as just an OG dual, but it's the closest thing we could get. Hit the leak. Hit the like button. Frappe le bouton. Good morning. Tom Mitchell's in the house. Glad to have you here. Thanks, folks. Where have you got me dangling from the rearview mirror? You got me bumper skiing off the back of the bumper, maybe in your front pocket, sitting on the kitchen counter. Smash a le bouton. Hit the Brodification bell. Lets people know that you got Brody on board here. Brody, put the bumper sticker on the back. Caution, Brody on board. Thanks for taking me along for the ride here this morning. A Darkar Waste from Dom United. Each of us has a different preference in artwork, okay? But no one can deny that the borderless version of the Darkar Waste printed in Dominaria United is this beautiful card. Azorius builds are the fourth most common decks in standard and second in modern, so the monetary value of this card is maintained a pretty steady pace across our graphs for each printing. And we all know people who bling out their decks with all the prettiest versions of the card they use and love. So collecting this printing as an investment is a reasonable thing to do, given the fact that the first and only borderless printing. The fact that you can play it untapped and simply just drain yourself of life, giggities and no giggities, to get the mana you need instantly, as opposed to waiting out the proper color draw or sitting and waiting in turn and playing a tap land to actually open up your mana. A Darkar Waste, the borderless version, is a valuable option for the Azorius player, not to mention the fact that one of the things that white does best is gain life, so the damage done by this colored mana generation is recoupable in the right Azorius build. With each of these cards, it's easy to see why both players and the investor can get behind them and be happy with their purchase. I often find myself having a hard time deciding whether I'm buying a card to play or having it in my collection portfolio that will one day build me the ultimate deck. With these choices, there's no doubt in my mind that I would buy them for both purposes and be happy to have. So myself, I would prefer the OG version of the Darkar Waste. That's just Brody's preference. Everyone's got their own, but here's an excellent addition to the deck. I appreciate this card from this article from Ryan Cole over the stock desk. He's pursuing his dream as a freelance writer over at the stock desk. He's bringing us great articles, and I'd like to circle back to some of these fantastic articles. I like to do this, circle back to these fantastic articles that people write, and we didn't get to cover during the holidays. So thanks a bunch to Ryan. Appreciate you, fellow from Canton, Ohio. Definitely not an investment piece. I would say make your own decisions. Pretty cool article here. We're gonna do some movers and the shakers here this morning. Michael Superbacker's in the house. I got my. I'm gonna build an extra cup of coffee. Oh, Brody's in the house. Let's run this list. What are we gonna do here today? Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Tom Mitchell's here. Tom, what are we running for lists here this morning? We gotta do the movers and the shakers here for you folks. I have just been taking a look at the metagame. If you guys haven't been following the vintage metagame and the legacy metagame, what is popular right now? What's popular right now in the vintage and legacy metagame are the following decks. Initiative, white, you could call it white initiative or initiative decks. There's a lot of initiative decks that are being play tested right now. Big surpriser over the last major Legacy 10K event that we took a look at, the Star City Games 10K New Jersey. David Kaplan took that victory with a copy of Delver, just a straight up Delver deck. He Delvered all the people that were playing Initiative. So in the game, the world of rock, paper, scissors, Delver beats Initiative. Initiative beats a lot in the Legacy metagame, but that's what the game's all about. So even though Delver is a deck that's been played for a lot of years, it's seen a recursion. Maybe it's just a one-time thing, but we might be seeing it again later in the format as people build more initiative decks in Legacy. The Displacer Kitten was sort of a hot card in Vintage over the last little while, and now we're starting to see people rotate that from the Coveted Jewel build, so blinking artifacts with the workshop. So that was sort of the vintage metagame late last year and coming into the beginning of the new year. Then people sort of went towards the Displacer Kitten. It seemed more powerful. And now people are using the Might Stone and the Make Stone as their artifact pieces to bounce and blink to paradoxical outcome. So the Might Stone and the Meek Stone is a great card for blinking. Mike Stone and the Weak Stone. So this is where we've sort of landed after we went Coveted Jewel, Displacer Kitten, and then we're on to the Might Stone and the Meat Stone in Vintage with blink decks. And then also there's another VAT that's sort of being played. So as the new sets emerge and the latest, greatest blink artifact comes in, I could even see somebody playing Portal to Phyrexia. I mean, this comes into play. It does all kinds of things. It gets you 2 colorless. You can, draws you 2 cards. It gives -5, -5. It gives you all the options to deal with your opponent's stuff. So Vintage really good right now with the printing of all these decks. So paper play being a thing, this is where the money's going right now, with people jumping into paper play excitedly because it's back and it's happening, and there's events firing, and there's 10K events, and the Legacy Pit is happening, and they're getting out all over the nation, all over the country. And of those of you, I got to mention this, anybody tuning in on Rumble, there's 8 of us watching on Rumble, amazing fans, the fans, you guys who are out there. If you're watching on Rumble, in the Rumble comment section below, please leave me a comment so I can reach you over there on Rumble. Thanks a bunch. But as these new sets come out and there's more powerful bombs like the Portal to Phyrexia, the Might Zone and the Meek Zone, and these interesting jank, I don't want to say jank, but it's these interesting bombs that make its way into vintage decks, that'll drive the price of the Mishra's Workshop against the Bazaar of Baghdad. If you look at MTG Top 8, and we're waiting for some more of these statistics to come in because they're a little slow over here, but don't worry, Brody's got you covered. The 21st got a legacy championship in Hiraruya, Japan, was happening just a little while ago, and these are the initiative decks and a couple of shells that were uh, sort of showing up here. Again, 4-color control, initiative, Stompy, and Storm. Painter Servant is also okay. As Painter Servant is also another card that's starting to see. I'm super stoked. Actually, I'm super stoked to mention this to you because Painter Servant is starting to see. Let me put this up for you here. Let's just take a look quick over at MTG Top 8. While Tom gets back to us, let us know what list you want to run here this morning, Tom, on the movers and the shakers. I need a little help from you folks in the comment section. But I just want to just run a little bit of coverage for you here so we can sort of tie it all together. You know, we got to tie it all together. Why are some cards moving and some cards not? Like, there's new sets coming out. These cards are new. These cards are expensive. They're bombs. But, like, what does that do to the metagame and how does that move? Do you like tracking these prices? Does it seem like too much to do? You just come over here at the morning show. Let Brody do it for you. So, 4-color control. I just want to. This is the other place I go to sort of look at the metagame and see what decks are hitting the top 8 at major formats. And Bazaar of Baghdad is actually a little more favored right now than the Workshop deck, even though the Workshop deck makes mana and it plays a lot of rocks and mud cards. It's plays a lot of artifacts. The Bazaar deck is just edgedly a little bit better from time to time. It's definitely a contender. It draws cards. It casts creatures with madness for 0. The only other way we're going to edge out Mishra's Workshop being a whole lot better than the Bazaar of Baghdad is if we get some tech, like an artifact that prevents players from casting cards for madness. And whenever some of that tech arrives, that's where we see the Bazaar sort of circle back to second slot. So those two sort of fight 1 and 2. Go Vintage Brody. Go. Real Brain says, buy listed stuff when Haruruya Tokyo when I was there. Nice. Tom Mitchell says, I only had money for Ice Age and Chronicles when I was a young pup. I know the feeling. I looked in the showcases, there's packages of the Dark and Legends, and I was like, nope, I guess I can get some of these Chronicles reprints because I need my 7/7 dragons. Good times, Tom. Dual Brain quit after Ice Age 4th and Chronicles for the first time. So I know the feeling. I couldn't crack in a Darkar Waste. I got more like the lands like Velt and these other ones that were just kind of crummy. They were just the depletion lands. They were not as good as the Darkar Waste. So I had a tough time pulling them. And of course, I couldn't find any more revised. I stuck it out till then I went to the Mirage pre-release, Visions. I stuck it out till Visions, and then flanking was it for me. I was like, you're gonna make things even worse and cost more money to have a downside like flanking, or like it's just I don't want to pay extra mana for flanking. It's not that good. So that's sort of that's where Brody kind of couldn't hack it anymore. Yes. Missed out on a lot of good sets, but did get to play during a bunch. Appreciate all the comments in the comment section below. Dual Brain says he disagrees with Ryan. He would never put my money into a full art Dominaria United card. Just an opinion. Definitely not an investment piece. I love it. Let's have a discussion here on the channel. I love it. I love having the discussion. MTG Gaming Bob's in the house. Want some truth and honesty and some very, very thought enticing critical thinking. We want to think critically about our Magic the Gathering collection and maximize the fun in that collection. And that's why we're here with you folks. What are we doing for the list here? Let's just take a look. Michael Superbacker, super stoked, bro. Tom Mitchell, forget flanking, Benson says. Let's go with horsemanship. Go vintage? Okay, we're going vintage. Let's go vintage. We're talking vintage. This is going to get me excited in the middle of the week here. Okay, folks. Chaos Orb. Oh, the old stuff, right? This is a card I don't have. I'd like to get one, and it's too bad we didn't get I don't even want to talk about the not magic cards. It's too bad we didn't get a viable version. Let's just say that. But it is up on the list here today. We got 3 copies of the Chaos Orb making its way on the list here today. If we go to the price of this card, we're going to have to go to, let's go to the cheapest one. Let's start there. Let's start there. This is like the most attainable one because let's face it, if you're getting a beta Chaos Orb, I don't think you're playing it. You might be playing it if you got a beat up beta and you're a baller and you're driving a Supra. You might play the beta Chaos Orb, but let's face it, if you're playing one, it's probably going to be an unlimited one, if anything, or a collector's edition if you're running it anywhere else. Let's see, where is it banned? Banned just about everywhere. Banned, 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 banned. So who cares about this card? So there's another part of this puzzle, and I really got to try and put it all together. Benson says, someone do a demonic attorney and contract from below deck. Call it the deck litigation hell. So there's another piece of this puzzle. I know we talked about MTG Top 8, and we talked about the movers and the shakers list, and we talked about the stock desk and the Hasbro stock price. There's like some undertones to Magic the Gathering. This is the part I like. It's like if you want to get into some major legacy groups, well, there's a lot of groups that are on Discord and do webcam play, but there's also another format that's not sort of shown on any of those sites that if you don't know about, it's called Old School. So Old School is a only version where this card can be played, Chaos Orb. Okay, so the players playing Old School are going to be running cards from 1993 and 94, and that's it. Nothing else can be played in that uh, that format except for cards that have the original art from 93, 94. I'll go back. Like you can play a card that's been reprinted so long as it's the original art from the 93, 94 version. There's a lot of proper etiquette, let's say, when building an old school deck. To do it properly, you should be including cards that have the original artwork on it from 93, 94, and nothing else. So Chaos Orb, even though it's banned and it's sitting on, and this is probably helping it. I mean, old school players probably love the fact that it's banned in all these other formats, because if it wasn't banned in Legacy and Vintage and Commander, this card would be a lot more money than it is. $1,500 for an unlimited version. If you want to see a Chaos Orb get flipped, the place to do it is at a live event, and you're going to be sitting down at an old school table and stand back and watch, because some of those decks are pretty powerful and have some really, really, really different styles of gameplay. It's a little more relaxed. The games can go longer, and a card like this is super powerful. Let's check the vendor shop. See, there was a spike in this price here, and I don't know why. This Chaos Orb hit 8 to 10,000 bucks in January 2021, and I was just like, whoa, what's going on? Chaos Orb is going to get out of reach. Here's another card that a guy might want to be, if you're looking for one in the next 6 months, 6 to 9 months. I would say it might be a good time to start considering picking one up. And even if you could start getting store credit and trade on some of your high-end reprinted stuff, cards like, $100 Blight Steel, like this isn't too bad. Like if you guys think about it, like that's like 15 Blight Steel Colossus, right? So it doesn't take a long to get there. There's 2 available from the vendors, and you can hit up a pretty clunky beat up copy, $900 on eBay. 10 grand for the graded one. Oh my God, Brody, Dual Brain says, I had an 88 MK3 Turbo Supra when I was young. Awesome car. I had so much fun in it, right? Friggin', that's a car, man. Turbos on there? Oh, baby. Benson says, Chaos Confetti is better. Look it up. Love it. Twiddler, why I gotta be driving a Supra, Brody? I don't know. You can drive whatever you want. You can take whatever you want, Twiddler. You take it whatever you want. Uh, Tom Mitchell, what's the red card that gives you +1/+1 in flanking? From Visions, it's got to be a Visions card, doesn't it? I'm not too sure. It's been so long. I've blacked out so many dark memories of flanking and 3 mana creature, 4 mana 2/2s. Somebody maybe help me out here. Red card, flanking, and +1/+1. I don't know. It's got to be. It's got to be in Magic the Gathering's worst flanking decks, right? Okay, let's check it out. Dark Pack. Here's another card on the top here. You got to remove it from the deck before playing for ante. These are some of the ante cards, and we covered these early in the show, and it's great to keep an eye on them because these are collectibles, collector pieces. You can usually find them in really good condition because they don't see any play at all. This is a card. It's cost 3 black. Remove Dark Pack from your game deck before playing. If you're not playing for ante, you own target card in the ante. Exchange that card with the top card of your library. So you get to remove the ante card and exchange it with the top card of your library. Alpha version. Here we go. You want to get yourself an alpha rare? Here's one here for $2,500. You can't really play it, but you can collect it, and it's still an alpha rare. What do you think? Worth collecting? I'd say $1,200. Ooh, yeah. If you're building an alpha set, you're gonna need one. So maybe if you're building an alpha set, this is a place to start. And the alpha rares, like some of the cheaper ones that aren't as powerful, the laces and the dark pack, this might be a place to go. Dark pack, $2,500. Man, let's look at the chart. It's really been sacking up there. Wow, making steady steps. This is an aggressive chart here. Like, look at these steps. Like, katunk, 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 katunk. I don't know how. Yeah, I guess so. Just a year ago, it was $900, $400, $600, $400 a year or two ago. Now it's tripled in price for the dark pack. Amazing. Card you can't play. It's investable, speculatable, just like this other card here. Contract from below. Skip. Check this card. Discard your hand and draw 8 new cards, adding the first drawn to your ante. Remove this card from your deck before playing if you're not playing for ante. The original draw 8. Hey, doesn't it bring me back? Agility. Okay, let's go. Agility. From Mirage. Okay, Tom, we found it. Thank you. Thank you, Murray Cooper. Murray Cooper. God, I love you, man. Thanks for the new cup. Got the Brody's Mug Club started here with Brody's Mug. Yes, agility. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and gains flanking. So for those of you new to Magic, here's a mechanic that we tried back in Mirage. Flanking was something that gives an attacking creature an advantage over a blocking creature. So a creature with flanking would essentially give the blocking creature -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature with flanking blocks without flanking, so if another creature without flanking blocks it, this blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Yeah. Agility gives +1/+1 and flanking, so you know 1/1 becomes a 2/2. It just kills 1/1s before it even deals combat damage. It does. I think it does consider it block though. A watercolor art on there by Drew Tucker. I really like it. Thanks. Yes, and Burning Shield Ascari. Thanks, Benson. Oh my god. Confetti is investable. One-time use. Confetti. Chaos confetti. Wasn't that Mirage? Yes, you're right. It is. Ultra rare high-end stuff won't come down in price, says the dual brain regarding the contract from below, the Dark Pact, and the Chaos Orb. We also got Shahrazad up there. Let's look at Chaos Confetti because it's like, I don't know how many times people are going to be confettiing, but let's take a look here. Chaos Confetti. Chaos Confetti. This is an uncard, right? You're unglued. All right. 4 mana, Chaos Confetti. 4, tap it. Tear Chaos Confetti into pieces. Throw the pieces onto the battlefield from a distance of at least 5 feet. You gotta be back. Destroy each permanent that a piece touches. Return the pieces from. Remove the pieces from the game. One time use. Common. Interesting. It's worth getting an altar on one of these, I'd say. Why not? Go see Mark Teden. Teden? It actually was poked up to $20. Investable, one-time use, 99 cents, one available. You can get yourself some Chaos Confetti. Holy smokes. Let's do it. But first, let's cast a copy of Shahrazad. Here's a $500 Arabian Nights rare. Probably worth investing in. You could hold on to this thing for long term, and it's always going to have a sentimental value just because look at the art on it. For me, Kaya Folio, you can't get any better of an artist than that. It's right, the very first artist I ever met as a youngster. Just another iconic piece here. Players play a Magic sub game. Here's another reason. Like when we talk about the reserve list, and this is another reason why the reserve list needs to go away, right? Like, yeah, there's cards on the reserve list that are like, could get reprinted, like leeches. Like, we need a card that removes poison counters. Oh my gosh, we only have one. But like, the reserve list is like guardrails on the highway, right? It really is, because otherwise we're going to have cards like this. So when we made the reserve list, there was like so many different cards that we experimented with different types of gameplay, and we covered a couple of them, like the Chaos Orb, flipping cards, dexterity. That's what the vintage list does for me. Like, this Chaos Orb talks about like putting knockdowns and dexterity and flipping and physical dexterity into the game of Magic. I know unsets do that, but that's like something that made the reserve list. Dark Pact, playing for the anti mechanic. So here's a card that made it into the reserve list because we were going to get away from anti in the game because it becomes more like gambling. So that's another reason to have the reserve list. Contract from Below, this is another anti card. It draws 8 for 1 mana. Okay, and Shahrazad and Demonic Attorney in the Dark Pact, all cards that are on the reserve list. And in this aspect, the reserve list is acting like a set of guardrails on the highway to like timestamp this type of mechanic and say, let's not do that again. Players play a Magic sub game using their libraries as decks. Each player who doesn't win the sub game loses half their life rounded up. So this just made a game outside of a game. You'd pick up the rest of your library, go over a table, play another game, and like the whoever doesn't win loses half their life in the other game that you go back to, and then you shuffle everything back and carry up where you're left off. Would you imagine how long a game would go? Tom Mitchell, now that prices have dropped, I would love to pick up a force field. I can't get a Power 9, but that reserve list I have wanted forever. The force field's a cool card. I'm happy to say I do have a force field. Holy smokes. I think I picked it up 2 cycles ago. Great card, good in commander, reduces the amount of attacking. Here's a reserve list card that, here's a reserve list card that Tom Mitchell's talking about. Here, force field. So there's a card that this could be printed on a creature or in another artifact in some way. Maybe it could cost a little more, but it doesn't seem like overly busted. But next time an unblocked creature of your choice would deal damage to you, it's prevent all but 1. So there's a lot of damage prevention. Maybe this is skirting on the lines of too powerful, right? Apparently, according to some people. Good card. It's definitely legal in a lot of places in Legacy and Vintage and Commander. So this is a good card. This is a desirable card. It's definitely on the list. $400 right now. Not too bad. That's only 5 Blightsteel Colossuses. We're going to deal with everything in the January in Blightsteel Colossuses. Colossi. Coach says, do you think Alpha Uncommons may be commons have room to grow with 4,500 and 90 respectively? Yes, absolutely 100%. And I will tell you that even the alpha lands, go back, I can show you the receipts if I have to, but I was buying all as well as alpha commons and uncommons, and that's how I pretty much started building my alpha stuff, and buying alpha lands for for relatively cheap compared to what they are now. So yes, I do think there's plenty of room to grow. That's my personal opinion with the alpha stuff, especially with old school, and like when the WotC as a company is wrecking people's morale on the front end, despite paper play being opened up and all these awesome tournaments that are firing independently, I might add. People still will default back to eternal formats where they don't need the hype, right? Isn't that a fact? Holy smokes. Cheeseburger Superior. Thanks for joining us, folks. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. The Cheeseburger Superior. The next time I head to any drive-through restaurant, I want to ask for one of those. Sounds fantastic. Benson says, give us a month. WotC will do a Universe Beyond card where you play a side game of Connect 4 during an MTG game. Benson or toss across, right? You're going to play some string ball. I want to fling some hoops. I want to flip some coin. You know it. You guys are the best. I appreciate you and all the rest of the fans, the fantastic fans. Dual Brain Ed, you are the man. And DJ Longhair, thanks again. Benson, Super Cheeseburger, Superior, Tom Mitchell, Micro Super Backer, Mr. DJ Longhair, Coach. Thanks for coming to all my games. Murray Cooper, wishing you well on your day today. Safe adventures. Twiddler, over at the Twiddler's house. Twiddler's Place. Appreciate you for joining me here this morning. Anybody else like Gaming Bob who comes by, Time Capsule, you're here too? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for hitting that like button and joining in the chat this morning. I appreciate all the chats, comments, the brotifications, the super chats, the everything. It's all good. It's the middle of the week. It's Bro Day. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. Wherever you're at, you guys, I hope you have a good one. Keep it real. Push your opponent's library into a Play-Doh spaghetti maker. You win the game the next game. Life is hard being a cheeseburger. If you guys are hanging around, I would check out the Dual Brain channel. Ed, let us know if you got some premieres happening here this morning. We'll have to check it out. Man, how time flies when you're having fun. You bet. Michael Superbacker says, have a great day, everyone. Tom Mitchell and I are reliving old flanking days, right? Freaking Dual Brain cruising in the 88 MK3 Turbo. Love it. Morning, fine magic folks. Talking equipment for planeswalkers. Morning, Time Capsule. That's right. Buy low, sell high. One of these days we're going to quit our job at Jake and Joel or Magic and become full-time stock market guys.
Buy low, sell high, that's my motto.
Well, thank you guys, folks. Tomorrow morning, thanks again for tuning in. Brody, it's been a great hour. I appreciate you all for watching. Have a good Wednesday.